So this is the next day. I didn't get the pump fitted yesterday because I got so pissed off with it. I put it together yesterday and I showed you this linkage here was working. You know, this troublesome thing here was working. But when I took it to bits to put the gasket in, it was all locked up. It was seized up. Well, now I'm on a path of trying to find out why is that, because look at the thickness of the gasket, it's only about 25 thousandths of an inch. So what went wrong? Well, it seems to be, it's on some sort of a, how do we say, a mechanism like this, like a hook, and it has to hook over. The first time I did it, I got it right, because it's the way you assemble things. You sort of turn it a little bit and it all goes together. Well, I didn't do that when I put the gasket in. I thought, oh, well, I'll just shove it together and bang it like that. Well, what had happened is it had locked up solid. It seems to have a bit of play this way, which I didn't know. So I must have messed about with it for about 2 hours, messing about, couldn't get it right. And in the end, when I worked it out, as you can see now down here, this lever works perfectly. So that's good, isn't it? So I've got it all back together. I've got these little springs here to fit. Well, that's no big deal. I'll soon, in fact, I'll do it now just to show you that I'm putting the springs on. The springs are a bit rusty. I'm glad they put 2 springs on, because if one goes, the other one will rust out as well. So that's that done. So this is ready to fit. Now, I cleaned up the gasket face here. Got it all nice and shiny. We're going to put some grease on the gasket just in case it has to come off. But to eliminate the problem of it coming off again and being tricky to fit, I took the liberty of taking off the power steering pump. It's only on 3 bolts and an O-ring, so I just pulled it out, and I think I've got a new O-ring in there. The simple reason is you've got this big gear. Well, you've seen it, haven't you? This big gear here has to link in with 2 other gears. There's like an intermediary gear and then the power steering pump gear. So if we take the power steering pump off, we've got more chance of getting those gears exactly meshed up, not like this. And if it is like this, then it's easy to take out, because if you've got another gear to play with, well, it's on another story. Now, so that is my challenge for today. Do you know why mechanics charge so much? Because of all the fannying about you have to do. I couldn't get this pump in. What a struggle I had trying to get it in. Half an hour it took me to get it located. In the end, I rigged up my engine lift to lift up the pump to take the weight while I was trying to engage the gears. Oh, thank God I never had that power steering pump in as well. Anyway, I used a bungee strap around the middle of the pump to take the weight. I couldn't get the lift exactly where I wanted it, but I got it close because of the wheel. Talking about a wheel, one little handy device I bought a long time ago but never used is this little step. So I could step on that, like the Happy Mondays, and then reach over to lift up the pump and guide it in. I had about 10 goes because I couldn't quite get the teeth lined up. I'm puffed out. That pump weighs 35 pounds or 15 kilos. Bloody heavy. I'll tell you something, it's not coming out again, that's for sure. If that little lever doesn't work, sorry, I'm not bothered. So that's it. So now we can put some bolts in. The timing mark is exactly where I wanted it. I think there must be some sort of a device on this pump to lock it whilst you're engaging it. There has to be, because it seems to be on a spring when it needs to get to its timing point. You know, it's like you could feel it starting to lift, you know, like the cam's lifting up, and you're fighting against a spring. Anyway, what time is it now? 11:15. I think it's cup of tea time. Put the bolts in here, cup of tea time. Oh, and what made life a little bit more interesting, every time you're lifting the pump up and trying to get it in, the gasket's moving, so the bolt holes don't line up. You know, the gasket doesn't line up. God dear me. So the pump's on, all piped up, bled through. A new inline filter, that's a must I think on these pumps. I didn't even realise there was a filter down there. That must have been bad. Anyway, got a new fuel filter on there. The oil filter I've just ordered because it's a really funny size. It's got two oil filters on. It's got a bypass filter, that white one, and then it's also got a full flow filter. Well, you can get the full flow ones kind of easy, but the bypass one's a bit tricky to get. It's bloody expensive, so I found a Wix filter that will do the same job, which is good. So I've bled it all through, but as this pump runs with engine oil in it, I want to crank this over without any injector pipes or anything like that on before I fire it up, so that pump's not running dry. What else have I got to do? I've cleaned up these pipe fittings here for the heater. They were a bit rusty. There's no sign of any pipes for the turbo or the intercooler yet, or the intercooler itself, so I can't do anything there. So what I'm going to think about doing is leave this till tomorrow, till the filter comes, and then get the filter on, crank it over, get some oil around it, fire her up, and then we'll get this pulled out, because it's going to be a while before those pipes are here, and the floor is absolutely blathered with oil. You know, it's just oil everywhere. I don't know where it's all coming. Well, I know where it's coming from. It's when I took the pump off, taking all the oil pipes off. You don't have an oil pan big enough for all the oil spillage. Anyway, never mind. This is our little linkage that we were concerned about, and you can see it now. Look at it moving. You can feel it come against some resistance. So that must be the cold start. That caused me a lot of problems. Maybe you can see, while I'm rambling on, you can see those spacers here that we made. JP made me. They made one for that pipe and one for the other one, because if not, you had to move the filter out to the side so it wouldn't hit the prop shaft. A bit of a mess about, but it works. Right. I think that'll wrap it up for today, and then we'll get back once we've got oil around this, and then we can start to pipe things up. But like I say, I've got that Subaru Crosstrek to do a wheel bearing, so I need my lift. Otherwise I'd just leave this in here. Alright, catch you later.